What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Alex. Yeah, I'm walking from my old job. So, just got done seeing the movie Sonic. Smash mouth hit movie. Alright, this movie is a part of my childhood. This is something I grew up playing the video games. We all remember Sonic the Hedgehog, the video games. There were Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic 4. They made like at least 6 to 7 video games of Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, there's comic books, there's cartoons, there's graphic novels, there's posters, there's trading cards, there's action figures. Before there was Pokemon, before there was Digimon, there was Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, late 80s, early 1990s, that's where Sonic truly shined. And I remember watching the Sonic cartoon. You know, it ran for 3 seasons. But this movie right here, this movie is by far the best movie I've ever seen. Because this movie just brings you back to the time period where you're a little kid. You know, you don't have to worry about paying bills. You don't have to worry about getting a girlfriend, well, at least not yet. And you get a chance to go back to when you was a kid, and you get to relive your childhood all throughout this movie. Now, the movie begins with him telling his own story. Now, I like the artwork, the design, it was perfect. The animation, the CGI, perfect. Is this movie perfect? By means, no, this movie's not perfect. This movie does have its flaws. There's no such thing of the perfect Hollywood movie. This movie does have some flaws. This movie does have some stuff that it does need to improve on. But for the most part, I give the movie an 8 out of 10. Strong numbers, strong, solid numbers. It's an action adventure, blended with action, comedy, suspense. And the acting is not bad. I mean, it's not the best acting in the world, but this acting's better than most movies. To me, this is what Pokemon the movie should have been. Because this movie kind of shows this is what Pokemon should have been and not something else. This movie didn't take itself too serious, but this movie also kind of showed that it can take itself serious, but not too serious. It could be funny, but not too funny. You got a blend of a balance. And the reason why I give it an 8 out of 10 is because not only that every character played a role, every character that you saw had a purpose. You know, they showed how he was abandoned by his family. Hold on. When I do my movie reviews, hold on. Spoiler alert. Let me say it again. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you ain't seen the movie, do not watch the movie review unless you've seen the movie first. Then come back to the movie review. A lot of people have a habit of watching my movie reviews and they wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, or when it comes out on DVD, and then actually complain that they saw the movie review and that I ruined the whole entire movie. Spoiler alert, and I'm trying to say it as many times as I can. Spoiler alert. Now, he tells his own story. Now, what can I say about Jim Carrey that hasn't already been said? I like Jim Carrey as an actor, okay? This man has been in Hollywood for 25 plus years, been in some of the best movies, best television shows, and he has a breakout performance. In fact, I believe this might be his best comeback movie ever. I mean, he went from Living Color to Saturday Night Live to Ace to Saturday Night Live to Ace Pet Detective. And the reason why I say Pet Detective is because those were his movies. And not only Pet Detective, last time we saw him was in was Kick-Ass 2 the movie. That was the last time we saw Jim Carrey in a great movie portrayal, was Kick-Ass 2. That was the last time we saw him. And he's back with this movie. So not only that we see him with this film, we see he's the main villain. We see he is Robotnik, or as they like to say, Eggman, so he gets 2 nicknames. And we see him in this movie, and we see that he becomes self-absorbed, obsessed on trying to discover the origins of this alien. He wants to know his superpowers. He wants to know if he can replicate it. And we see his robots at work. Like, he captured all of that in the villain perfect. I mean, if you want to talk about Jim Carrey out of this world, Jim Carrey took you back to when he played The Mask. Like, he took the persona of The Mask and the combination of all the other characters he played in this movie and created the magic of his character as this villain. So Jim Carrey was just perfect as the character. Now, the main character is Sonic, of course. They display his powers in this movie. You know, he's got the supersonic speed. He conducts electricity. He can turn into a ball, hit you with a sonic boom. He can make a force field. And he has his rings that let him go to different planets at will. So he kind of gives you that idea that he's, you know, he can do anything. Now, he does get hurt in the movie because he, you know, goes to a baseball field. He's sad because he realizes he's alone. And he sees that he's an alien. And he plays baseball. And true to the character, because we see that they throw reference in this movie. Keanu Reeves' speed. Like, who would ever thought that would get into the movie? I'm calling it right now, but don't be surprised in the near future that Keanu Reeves pops up in this movie franchise. I mean, because Keanu Reeves is in everything. You know, he's doing a Matrix 4. He's gonna do a John Wick 4. You know, he's sitting down with negotiations with Marvel. So Keanu Reeves is a busy guy. And to kind of throw in speed as a reference isn't interesting. There's the Flash comic book. Like, you know they took that from the Flash because it's the same sequence of him reading comic books, slowing down motion. So you know they took some inspiration of the Flash. But the best part of the movie is the fighting. Because, you know, there's the chase. They had a nice chase, so that's what makes it into an action adventure. There's the comedy. You know, he's at the bar messing with all the people. He has to save the guy who played Cyclops. James Mason was phenomenal. He went from Cyclops of the X-Men to another franchise starter. Clearly, this is another franchise starter. You know what else Sonic remind me of? Sonic remind me of Ted. If you just look at Mark Wahlberg and Ted, you can see the same parallels and similarities with this movie. Look at how the first Ted movie was. A guy that wanted to move out of the city and go to and do something else different and change his career option. You look at Sonic, a guy who wants to change his career option. You look at Ted, a teddy bear that magic makes the teddy bear come to life. You look at Sonic, someone that comes from a world of magic and comes to Earth. Don't be surprised in the near future they bring Ted back and they do a Sonic the Hedgehog Ted crossover 3 years from now. Why? Because the movies are similar. Now, I also like the fact that we also saw another Easter egg. There were a lot of Easter eggs in this movie. One of them was, in that whole entire world, they showed you the legendary cave of where Shadow comes from. Oh yeah, Shadow might have not been seen in the movie, but the place where Shadow comes from is in the movie. That's an Easter egg. You saw a bunch of Knuckles. The red Knuckles, the second most fastest person. You've seen a whole bunch of them. I have a feeling that when we get to a highly anticipated sequel, you are going to see Knuckles get recruited by Robotnik to take on Sonic. You know it's going to happen. You know in the second movie, it's going to be Sonic versus Knuckles. I mean, think about it. The man's trapped in another world. We'll get to the end of the movie. And we see the midpoint where they're at the house. There's the girlfriend arguing with the boyfriend. And everyone is surprised. And we get to see how he gets his red shoes. Like, every superhero... Hold on. I apologize. We got the ambulance out. You know, it's a Saturday night. Hold on. I apologize for that. I'm at the Grove, as you can see, because we got the ambulance out. We got a bunch of idiot weirdos yelling and screaming for no reason with their stupid ass. Need to leave that drug shit alone. And we're doing a video, so it's nighttime, and you can see there's the ambulance. But like I was basically saying in the video, is that Sonic is one of the characters that you grew up watching when you was a kid. I don't care if you was a kid, a teenager, everyone loves Sega. You played the video games. And they kind of harken back to what started it. And you see he gets his red shoes. Every superhero gets something. Batman has the Batcave. Superman has the Fortitude of Solace. He gets his red, his cape. Sonic has his red shoes. And you see how he gets these red shoes that make him run much faster. Now, when we get to the fighting again, you see that Sonic gets his powers back, and he sends Robotnik to another dimension. And when he gets sent to another dimension, he is still obsessed. Like, he is going to find a power source to get him out of here. So you get another Easter egg that he's not going to stop until he actually succeeds. So you know for a fact that I guarantee you that when we get to Sonic Part 2, I give it about, I'm going to say 2022 or 2023, we're going to get a highly anticipated sequel of Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2. And I guarantee you it's going to pick up where the next end credit picks up at. Tails, Sonic the Hedgehog's best friend, has also made his way to Earth. Which makes you gotta beg the question, did the bird that we saw in the beginning of the movie, did the owl or the bird, did that person actually die? Like, it was indicated that they probably died, but then again they probably didn't, because how would Tails know that Sonic the Hedgehog is on Earth? Unless someone told Tails he's on Earth to find his exact location. So that has to now make you wonder, the owl probably sent Tails to go look for Sonic at the end credits. So you got a lot of Easter eggs. There are a lot of reference in this movie, a lot of Easter eggs. You know there's going to be a sequel, and like I said, don't be surprised and shocked that in the next 2 to 3 years that producers and studios come up with a great idea to do Sonic and Ted. I mean, just think about it. You know there's going to be some type of crossover, because Hollywood can't help themselves. You know, it starts off with you getting a movie, then you get a sequel, and then somewhere in the middle of that, they want to do their own version of Godzilla vs. Kong, except for it's with Sonic the Hedgehog. You can see why this movie snagged #1 at the box office last week. Before it was Bad Boys for Life. Don't be surprised that I come back later in the week and give you another movie review on Bad Boys for Life, because I am going to go watch Bad Boys for Life. It's still in movie theaters. I am going to get a chance to go see it now that I have 5 to 6 days off from work finally. And I had to check out Sonic because it's a part of my childhood. So, yeah, this movie gets an 8 out of 10. Like I said, this movie wasn't perfect. Yes, this movie has a lot of flaws. The sequel will improve on it. You know, in the beginning, people complain about the first trailer that it didn't look like Sonic. Now he looks exactly like Sonic. So he's going to get a sequel. I can guarantee you the way they structure this, he's going to get 3 movies. You know it's going to be 3 films. The second one is going to be Sonic versus Knuckles. And then at the end of that, Sonic and Knuckles and Tails will be best friends. Then they're going to set up for the third film where it's going to be Sonic versus Shadow. You know they're going to do that. You know in the second movie, they're going to drop hints of the next character. This one dropped Tails. You saw Knuckles in the movie, so you know the second one's going to deal with Knuckles. And the third movie is going to be Shadow. So, this was a movie review. Until next time, peace.